In this video slash series of videos, we're going to build a number guessing game. So you can read this for yourself, but the idea is that we're going to start off slow. We're going to assume that the user is going to put in valid input in this first video, if you will, and then we will build functionality as we go along. So the idea is here, right? So we're going to start off with explaining to the user the inputs that you can put in. In other words, an integer slash an H for a hint, and all the hint's going to be is a table of previous guesses, and a Q for quit. In other words, I'm done with the game. I want to start over. And you can see what happened with the first a couple of things, like a use case here. So it said enter your guess 1 to 100. The first number was 20, and it basically the computer came back and said, hey, the secret number is going to be greater than 20. And the next one was a quit, and then it just basically quits and better luck next time, and then the secret number is 42. So that's what we want to implement in this video. So we need to go ahead and start or get over to our code. And so as you can see, we need random, so we're going to pull that in. What I've constructed here is a way to sort of start off doing these types of problems. And I also want to start off with, or start doing this, doing what's called a main program inside your script. So if name is equal to main, what this allows us to do is if we can have testing things going on in here, but if name is the main, in other words, if I run it from the IPython command prompt, then it's only going to execute whatever's inside this code. So that's the idea behind it. And we will see more examples of that. But I want to start doing this in all my programs. I want to have a main function, and then it's going to call these other functions. So right now, this is where we're sitting. So if I hit go right now, it's not going to really do anything except for print off sort of what the stuff, and then we want to add the functionality to it. So the first thing that we want to do, so real quick, I forgot to mention, these print statements are what's coming up here to the computer. And then the next thing that we've done is we've initialized a couple of variables that we're going to need for the execution of this thing. One of them is a secret number. One of them is a guess, so you want these two to be equal in order for the program to end. I'm going to keep track of the number of guesses that it took the person to win, if you will, or to guess the number. And then we're going to, and this part is just saying, did the person win or not? In other words, if you hit quit, I don't want to say, hey, congratulations. All right, so while, and right now we only have one thing that we want to check. If secret number is not equal to guess, then we want to keep doing this thing. And I'm going to let guess equal to, and this is the part of today's lesson, the input from the user. And just so you know, see that we can use an F string inside here. So we want to enter your guess 1 through, and then this is going to be depending on what N is, what capital N is. So 1 through, and in this case it's 100, and then we put a little colon. All right, so we get our guess, and num guess plus equals to 1. So we increase our num guess by 1, and then we want to check a couple things. So if guess dot upper is equal to, so what does that upper do? So think about that for a second. What do you think I'm trying to do with that? So I'm using the method upper, and we can always come up here and just test it. A dot upper. You can see it just converts it to a capital letter. If it's already a capital letter, then it just keeps it a capital letter. So that's that's what that's doing. And so all we're allowing this to do is letting the user put a small q or a capital Q, and then it treats it as the same thing. That's all that's doing. And if that's the case, then we just want to break. In other words, you want an all break does, and I'm not sure if we've talked about this. I don't think we have. It will get out of whatever loop you're in. So if you're in a for loop, if you're in a while loop, it'll just break out of the one of. So if you're in a nested loop, it'll just break out of the inside loop. If you're in this case, we're only in not in a nested loop, we're in this while loop. It's just going to break out of this while loop. In other words, this doesn't have to be true anymore. And it's like I spelled number wrong. All right, so if, oops, it's not, oh yeah, guess. If guess dot upper is really equal to h, then we want to do what? I want to take off num guess. In other words, I don't want this to count against the fact that you're getting a table. So I'm going to subtract off a num guess. I'm going to say table of guesses, and then put in guess list. Right now it's not going to do anything, it's just going to pass. So we have the architecture here, so this will work, but right now it's not going to do anything. And then guess is equal to 0. So that's how we're going to get by with the secret number not equaling to guess for right now. And then guess is equal to int. So in other words, if it wasn't a letter, if I try to do this up here and it was a letter, then we're going to have problems. So I wait till after that to convert it to an integer. So if this is equal to secret underscore number, if that's true, then we want to when is equal to true. In other words, you won, you guessed the correct number, the secret number, I should say. And then we want to break out of this loop. Else if, so this is an example of an else if. So if secret number is greater than guess, then we want to print another f string here. Let's just say the secret. So I'm making it look like the previous that was in the OneNote. The secret number is greater than put a period. And then else, so if neither one of these two are, if it's not equal and it's not greater than, then obviously it must be less than. So print f number is less than yes, period. All right, so what we think we've done is so secret number is not equal to guess is going to keep executing this. And oh, by the way, this never gets actually executed. Why? Because if these were equal, then it gets inside here. It says when's equal to true, and then it breaks. So okay. Then once I'm done with that while statement, I want to come back out. I'm going to say if when, so it's either true or false. Then I'm going to print another f string here. Congrats. Guessing the number, exclamation point. You guess, right? So it took you that number of guesses in order to get it right. Plus we'll call it tries. Get it right. And we can end it. And then else, so if it's not true, so if when is not true, then we want to say that, hey man, sorry about that. So maybe better luck. Exclamation point, and just tell them what the secret number was. Maybe they got tired of trying to guess, and they don't believe all your information that you gave them. Secret number was secret number. All right. It looks like we're coming up on finishing this video up, and so what we want to do here, let me Let's run this thing. Get rid of some of these spaces. Run it. I didn't like that. I must have forgotten my. All right, try it again. So this gives me a number. Maybe I'm gonna say 35, and it says the secret number is less than 35. Okay, so maybe 20. Secret number is less than 20, maybe 10. Great. So between, so we see we're between those two numbers, 15, maybe 18. All right, so I'm greater than 15, but I'm less than 18. So I'm between 15 and 18, maybe 17. Took me 7 tries to get it. All right, looks like it's working. Let's try it again and then hit quit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But next time the secret number is 53. Okay, looks like it's working, and we will use this as a shell for the next video. But what we're going to end up doing is incorporating this idea of a table of guesses. And the other thing that we probably want to do is start validating our input. So right now we're assuming, so let's find out what I mean by that. So what happens if you put E? You get some bad stuff. What happens if you put, let's see, what's another one? Again, we get bad stuff, right? So this is what we mean by going in and sort of validating some of the input that we get. All right, that's all I got.